Hello, hello, hello. This is Gabe Cymbalista of Cymbalistic Cynicism. Just give me one moment. We're having a technical difficulty. I just want to remove something and bring it back in. And now bring it back. Sorry about that. And we are back. Excellent. Okay, this is Gabe Cymbalista of Cymbalistic Cynicism, and we're here with Aramis Sartorio. Would you like to introduce yourself? Tell us a little bit about yourself, Aramis.
How you doing, everybody? Aramis Sartorio. I am an actor. I've done a handful of mainstream things, but I think a lot of people know me as my AKA Tommy Pisto, which is in the adult career, and I've been doing that about 20 years now and everything. So it's been a very interesting career. I've won a bunch of awards and a lot of respect, and I think it's a great industry and a lot of good people, and I'm glad. I think they're getting a nice. I think people are starting to notice the talent, the real talent that's in this industry, and I think that's really awesome. So, yeah,
100%, 100%. I'm just checking something. Oh, good. Okay. So let's talk. Well, first of all, I just want to bring up you and I have never actually met face to face.
no, this is the first. Yeah,
We've chatted a lot on social media. We've made
Yeah.
each other laugh. We've made each other laugh.
yeah. We have a common hate
sense
love.
of humor, and
yeah, for certain people that we share our memes and other things that come across.
and we have a bunch of mutual friends.
We definitely do.
From
Yeah,
in both mainstream and the adult industry.
in the horror community and everything.
Yes. The horror. Well, when I say film industry, I mean horror community.
Yeah, pretty much, right.
Well, let's start. Hold on a second. First, I just gotta hold on. Yeah, my buddy says Gabe always gets the greatest guest, Joe. Yeah, thank you, Joe.
Thank you, Joe.
Yeah, we had a technical issue with Facebook, and now I think we went live with Facebook again, so it should be good.
Cool.
So I just want to bring up, because I had a friend on who directed this film, and you actually had a small role in it.
Yeah.
And I have another friend who stars in this film, Louis Mandalore. I actually just messaged him today.
Okay.
Breakout.
There you go.
And we were talking before about what's his name, James Cullen.
Yeah.
Yes, who's also they were all in that filmmaking group, and it's funny because yeah, and Louis is a great guy. I never met what's his name from Charmed, who stars as the villain in this. But tell us a little bit about working on that movie, and who did you play in that movie? Or were you a bad guy? Were you a good guy? Tell everybody a little bit about it.
So in Brandon Slagle's Breakout, I play Murray, and I got that part because our mutual friend James Cullen Bursack, he reached out to me. He was like, "Hey, would you like a little part in it?" I was like, "Yes, always, anything, send it my way." So yeah, it was great. We were shooting in a real jail cell, which was awesome.
Yeah,
so
cool.
That made it more believable and everything, and
authentic. Yeah.
But it was a little part, it wasn't something big, and I did get some lines, and I got to play Murray, one of the correction officers.
Mm-hmm.
And I also got to play a cellmate, because sometimes in movies and people are like, who wants to do something else? Like, you're done, but you can hang out. So I was like, I'll do it. So I went from having my hair back to pushing it all down to try to change whatever I looked like and everything.
Yeah.
So I went from correction officer to emo to
that's
emo prison
you.
guy.
That's you. You have a wide range. You have a very wide range, and we're gonna get to that. Oh, here we go. Toei says Brian Krause from Charmed. Yes, and he's also in Sleepwalkers. Yeah, he's great.
Yeah.
So one of your friends has a question. Now, let me just say, I understand this question because let me bring it up. She asked if it was an active jail. She doesn't. I doubt she means at the time, but was it, or you don't know?
I would definitely say no.
Okay.
I believe it was pretty big. I feel like it was correction, maybe not for anything too serious, but whatever it was definitely closed because we had access to the whole thing. And you know, our green rooms were cells. So that
right,
was,
okay.
but as far as I know, it was not a correctional facility in working at the time. So I think that would be very hard to pull off.
Well, I'll tell you why I understand the question, because when I was a kid, they took us to a jail as like a field trip, like a legit jail that was active, but like when the prisoners were all in another location. And this was like I think it was middle school. I don't necessarily remember.
What school?
I don't remember, but they brought us to so, hold on, Surrenda. Okay, I like that, Surrenda. Like, that is a clever name. I like that. No, but I just want to mention, like, there was one point where we were scared because they locked us or they did lock us in and then just let us out. They like to play games on the kids, the guards, or the. So yeah, so I understand that question.
Shit out of somebody and then send them home. I'm sure that was.
They've got to have a little fun with it. I understand that. Yeah, Twoy,
got to give them their money's worth for sure.
Yeah, Twoy said like meme friends gang. Oh, good.
Yeah.
What's it called? Oh, and Surrenda said, "Oh, I went to an active prison for psychology class in college. I had fun. They were friendly to me." Well, you know, oh yeah, wild field trip to prison. I mean, you know what? I'll tell you the truth. My mother taught court class, so she would take the kids to actual arraignments and courts. You know, in like legit big, you know, from presidentially appointed judges. My mother knew. Wow. So there's a lot of those field trips that, you know, so I wouldn't be surprised if they booked, you know, obviously time constraints on filming in a prison that is active, because if you don't get your shots in, you're not going to get it done in time, you know?
Yeah, you know what you do realize, just the way they make the floor, the concrete floor, it does get to you after a certain amount of hours. Like your feet do hurt. And it's like, really? I've shot for Sean Kane. I was in Jurassic City and I played another police officer thing. And I remember the hour, like after hours and hours of just, that was another correctional facility, but walking around on that floor, it's fucking serious. Like it reminds you where you are. It's not fucking comfortable at all. Wow. And that was the realistic thing. And it being two places where it held people, I was like, oh, okay, this is made a certain way so people remember where you're at. This isn't comfortable at all. So yeah, that was interesting and everything.
Yeah. That's cool. I mean, it's not like you had like terrain or like dangerous areas during film, or did you?
No, everything was fine. You know, we were pretty much working between one or two floors. It wasn't like all over the building, so they had it all handled pretty tight for Breakout and everything. So yeah, it was pretty chill and everybody got along. And you know, it's like every time, like sometimes you might be with a crew and everything on one day, and like actors are usually like in their own world, but the crew always hangs out, lighting, and you know, and it's like when you get to hang out with them and crack jokes, like it's a lot of fun and stuff.
You know, it's funny, a lot of in the horror industry, a lot of actors or the director, they play pranks on each other. Or there's like goofs behind the scenes, like to get people through the day. I know in the Saw movies, they had a fart machine that they played pranks on during filming, or they put a whoopee cushion under Jigsaw's deathbed. Like machine. It's like you have to do that stuff, you know?
Yeah, and you gotta keep. I mean, it's work, but like it doesn't have to be a nightmare.
And so you have a good sense of humor. You always make people laugh. Like everybody I've spoken to, not just on screen, like even in the adult films, like you are just hilarious.
Thank you.
And everybody I've spoken to about you says nothing but amazing things about you, and the sweetest things about you. The girls and like everybody, you know. Hold on a second. Oh, she says you have to have a dark sense of humor for that. Yes, Yes, you do.
Yeah, I think life in general.
Yes, 100%, especially in this day and age. And
oh my god, this day and age.
And can I tell you something? What you like? All I know is like during the pandemic, the adult industry must have been doing great. Honestly, or at least like the streaming, because
it was interesting because when a lot of people were shut down, like that industry thrived, and I think a lot of people kind of swallow their pride, and it's like, well, let me I can either starve or like make some money, and like I don't know, it's like that's the thing, like this industry is very welcoming, and there's many platforms where people could get by and you're not judged, and it's like it sucks because you do it and then people want to judge you, but to get in and to have a career and do it, like it's like it's interesting to like make this decision to have I want to make money, I want to be home, like raise a family, I don't want to be stuck behind something else, and it's like we make this sacrifice to do this job and like to get a little bit ahead, not even like crazy, just a little bit. And the down part is like people can't just accept it, but during COVID that was like a huge eye opener of like, oh, maybe I'm not above this, or what's the big deal? Like, and I think that's why a lot of people tried it, and it's not for everyone, obviously, but people like were desperate, and I think they put their shit aside and they're like, hey, why not? Let's see what happens. And it sucks because I think there was a few, like a nurse or something did it, and then she ended up losing her job, and some other people. So, and it was like, what the fuck? How are you going to expect people to get by and not make money, and you're not helping them out or supporting or like in these times? So it's just like, that's horrible.
I know that even
judged if they're gonna just trying to survive, right?
And not just that, people forget that it's a form, not as only is it a form of entertainment, it's an industry, it's a business. It is acting. It really actually, like, even in the cheesy acting lines, like the ones who like, you could tell why this is like, if you watch it out of context, like the acting scene, like, oh, this is an excerpt from an adult film, like it's still an art. It's still a skill. And I think a lot of it's still a crew
script. It's a budget. There's a rentals.
Exactly.
It's the same exact thing.
People have no idea. People really don't.
You got to make a product, and that's it. It's a business. And
you and I could both agree. And I feel like because of our stances on stuff, people take a lot for granted, and we learned how much things people take for granted because of the pandemic.
Yeah, and 100%. Yeah.
And I just want to mention, and Surrenda did make a good point, a lot of bravery to be naked and vulnerable. And I just want to mention about that it's empowering for a lot of people, and a lot of people don't understand that about that in the industry.
Look, I think too many, to be honest, like to literally put all shame aside and say, I'm going to do this because I want to try it, I'm curious, whatever your reason. To put that shame aside and to put it out in front of the world, to basically judge, instantly either love you, rip you apart. It doesn't matter. I'm sorry, but that takes fucking balls. It takes takes a lot of courage to do that. And what is the difference between a naked model on a Vogue magazine or something? It's like, but that's held higher standards for, whatever. But it's just another form of entertainment. And I think it's a very brave to throw yourself into this, to like commit to it and to do it and say, fuck everybody else. I'm going to live my life the way I want. I'm going to try it. If I'm happy, awesome. If I'm not, I get out. How many people work in jobs they don't like and they stay there because they're like, this is going to help. This is going to stick by me. And at this point in time, whatever we were told about what works or what's guaranteed, that shit don't matter anymore. Nothing makes fucking sense anymore. And it's scary. So I'm in an industry that already said, like, fuck everyone else. I'm going to fucking do what I can to get by and live the life I want to live. And, you know, whatever. You hate me, you hate me. And that's it. And I think people who do this, there's a lot of risk in it. It's not for everyone. But, like, you should get to make the choices you want.
Yes.
And whether you agree or not or dislike, you know, that's not your business. It's not your life. You know,
and listen, some people go into it and they don't last, or
yeah,
they realize it's not for them.
yeah.
But
It's
you know, if you don't try it, you don't know.
Yeah, and look, if you know you're working with people or studios professionally, there's they're not just hiring Joe Schmo off the street, you know. I think things became more risky with content because that, as I know people did well with it, but it also opened up a huge door of like risky people to come in and see what they can do. And, and I think a lot of people could buy followers, and I'm really popular now, even though you don't know me. It's all a chance. It's all a risk in what you're doing. But, if you play your cards right and you're professional about it, you could have a long, prosperous career. And, again, it's not for everyone, but I think people should get to choose, because it is your business. The way you look, the way you keep your body, the way you are on set, your performance and everything. You're a business, and you're selling yourself, and if you could do really well and make most of that money for you and not have to like make someone else rich, well, I mean, studios get money, obviously they make money off what they think, but it's like you're literally your product, and how you present and sell yourself is that's how well you're gonna do. It's a grind. It's a fucking grind. But what isn't in entertainment? What isn't this like? Give it all, and if you don't, it shows, and the people who do, like, we see they've done well.
Yeah, listen, I'll tell you the truth. Like, I got reached out to by a friend of mine I met at New York Fashion Week, and he tried to get me jobs filming at Exotica, one of the events, but I couldn't make it to the one he invited me to. But he got me a job filming this coming Tuesday a model in New York City, and although she's not the one I would usually the type I would usually photograph, like, what, it's a job, it's work, and and
work is work, man.
Work is work, and it's what, even if oh, I don't think she's like, you don't have to find somebody attractive to work with them necessarily, So, but it's work, and I'm just doing photography in New York, filming in New York, and you know what? It's and honestly, like, how somebody looks doesn't affect who they are. And I think there's a lot of that. There's a lot of that stuff, like people complaining about overweight models in modeling and this type of model. You know what? Everybody's entitled. Some people find it attractive. Not everybody has one person's vision of beauty. Beauty is truly in the eye of the beholder, and we forget that all the time.
I think whoever has a problem with someone modeling nude or what I do, whatever, I think they got hung ups on themselves.
Yes.
And they don't want to admit it, so they're going to project, and like, now I have someone I could be angry at and everything, but it's like, I don't know, like, that business, like, you're bare bone, like, that's it. What you see is what you see, like, if more people had the way to love their body or appreciate what they have and acknowledge it and see it for what it's worth, wouldn't that, I think a lot of people would be happier. But it's like, oh, look at her, how can she do that? But it's like, you could do that. You like love yourself, like everyone on there, all shapes and sizes and colors and creeds. They learn to love their body, and they, by doing that, it looks great on camera, and they, it's like, what is gonna like boost your
confidence?
Yeah, if you can't if you can't love yourself, who's gonna love you, baby?
Exactly. Well, I agree with that for the most part, but there are certain things where you could, like, I've been able to help other people with issues that I struggle with. Not saying that I can't help myself in it, but sometimes, yes, exactly. Like, you don't have to be attracted to somebody to respect them or admire them or promote them, or like, you just respect that. Like, just respect, everybody. Like, it's not always about attraction.
Yeah,
It's not
it's
always
easy to
about
hate.
that.
It's people.
It's easy.
It's easy to hate. I'm doing it online. No one's coming to my house.
Yeah.
But that's weak. Like, just, I don't know. Acknowledge, like wrestlers.
Mm-hmm.
They get dragged to the mud, abuse their body. It's like we always get
hockey players. They get their teeth knocked out.
Our industry always gets compared to like wrestlers, because we're putting on this fantasy, this show, and you beat yourself up for all these years, and then you can't do it because your body hits a point where it's like, all right, and then you start to change but from what I've seen from this industry, like a lot of people, it helps them. But when it is also something, when it's over, like wrestling, like it's over, and then what do you do then? And
I just want to. I'm sorry.
No, go.
No, I just want to mention. First of all, you're very wise, Aramis. I love talking to you. But I just want to mention, like, speaking of wrestlers, because we talk about the adult industry and the wrestling, but I just want to skew away from the depressing talk, or like not the depressing, like the more serious.
Yeah,
and I want to focus on the more professional stuff, because I know our friends, the Soska twins, are big on wrestling, and they're also, in addition to being hard directors and producers, they've also produced a number of adult films.
Yeah.
But they've also, and you've starred in this film with Jen, our dear friend Jen, and Sylvia, on The Edge, which was actually featured. This poster was featured in their sequel adaptation to George Romero's Night of the Living Dead, Festival of the Dead. Festival of the Living Dead. It was actually featured on the wall of one of the Gotham stars, her bedroom.
Oh, that's awesome.
And, in the movie. And here's you and Sylvia.
Yeah.
And the only time I've ever seen her as a blonde. And here's you guys as well. And then here's some behind the scenes stuff. Yeah. And this was filmed before the pandemic, or during, or like,
this was filmed in 2022.
Okay.
So the story about this, I've known Jen and Sylvia for over 10 years, and we've always talked about, something coming up, working together. And I was like, yes, please, say when. And in June of 2022, I get a text from them like, hey, we got this movie coming up. We think you would be great for the lead. Do you want to do it? I was like, yes. And they're like, well, don't you want to read it? I was like, yes, I will read it. And I read it. It was the biggest script I ever had to learn. I basically got the script July 1st, and I was in Montreal by August 6th. So it was a 90-page script, and as you saw, like majority of the movie, I'm in it. And it was a serious 2 weeks of filmmaking. It was probably one of the most demanding experiences I ever went through and I had to do. And for me, it meant the world to do something like this. And when I first read the script, I was like, wow, this is it was very hard to read, because it was very aggressive and kind of humiliating to the lead.
Yeah.
And I was like, man. But then the more I started thinking about it, I was like, if I'm going to do something outside of the industry and do something mainstream, like, it has to be something like this.
Yeah.
And then the more I started reading it and going, rehearsing it with my partner, I really started to fall in love with it. And I knew when I was on that plane, like, this is going to be tough, because it was very demanding, and
both physically and mentally, and
physically and very mentally. Yeah, it was. my character is constantly Peter tortured for I believe it was 36-hour BDSM session, and it was just one of the hardest things I ever did, because it wasn't only mentally, it was physically, and to portray that character of someone being tortured and over and over. And majority of the shoots were night shoots, so we would start around like 6 or 7 and then go all the way to the next morning till like 9 or 10 till the sun came up and we had to stop. So it was that physically was that made me crazy.
Yeah. Well, I think it would anyone.
Yeah. And then because where we were shooting it was in the city, so it was like during the day it was very loud, so it was hard to get like a solid sleep, and then we do it again. Mm-hmm. But when all's said and done, it was definitely one of the best experiences I ever had. I learned so much from it, and I wanted to do something that people wouldn't expect. And I think for me, coming from one world to another, that's what I should be doing. Things that aren't gonna like people just assume, or I want to be tested.
Yeah.
And this movie was definitely probably the biggest test I ever had. Can I stay at it? Can I stay in character? Can I do this? It was a mental challenge, and the physicalness too was intense. So,
and you also played your like psychos, like you played your, what's the word, like you were hallucinating yourself, so you were playing like the dark side of yourself as well at certain points, as well as and it was very, I actually brought up to Jen and Sylvia, I spoke to them. I love that a lot of it is left up interpretation to exactly what happened in certain elements of it. And I said to Jen, like, some of those prosthetics, like, I thought were real, like both gore wise and otherwise, or some of them just looked so real. I'm like, Jen, was that real? And she told me, no, it was all fake. And I'm like, because they do great prosthetics, and they're, shout out to you and shout out to them, because you're a great actor. They're great filmmakers. Yes. And I love that after all these years of you guys knowing each other, you work together on a film so closely.
Yeah.
Thank you for letting me watch it in advance, like to let me screen it. It was an honor.
Yeah, so, no, please. I'm glad.
Yeah.
I'm really glad like you got to see it, and I'm waiting to get the call that they're like, it got, it's getting distribution. I know it's up in the air now and everything, but I think besides me being in it, just the concept of the movie and the way it was done and on the budget it was done and what we were able to accomplish. Like we literally, there was like 5 of us shooting this whole movie.
As you're talking, I'll just bring up screenshots. That's you, and you can continue talking. I just want to
it was a very small crew. So what we were able to accomplish with that, like that was also like something I haven't done in a long time. I've done movies where it was like bare minimum crew, but like for what we did in that amount of time with everyone that was helping, and it was very minimal. So Jen and Sylvia, like they were on point the whole time. Sometimes one of us was holding a mic while the other one was. It was very bare minimum crew, and it was awesome to like accomplish this, to like go at it, and everybody threw down and everybody did the best they can. And it's like I'm really proud to have been a part of something like that. It was just because a lot of people wouldn't stick with it the whole time, or it'd be bitchy and whiny and complaining and everything. But we love cinema. We had a vision. They had a vision that they included me in, and I just wanted to give it my all, and they did too. Like nobody was slacking, and I think everybody had a good attitude, and we just made ourselves like we really committed to this. Because when the hours were hitting 1 a.m, 2 a.m, 4 a.m, 5 till the sun came up, it was like you can't always find people like this.
Yeah.
And they believed in it, and because they believed in it, I believed in it, and that's how we got to like actually complete it. And it was a great experience. So
I feel you on that. I'm one of those people who's getting more tired from not doing enough than doing too much. Like, I will get more tired from working at a computer all day long than I would working on a set all day long.
Yeah. No, exactly. It's a different energy when you're giving and everyone's like, you do a take and they're like, holy shit. And their reaction is on me, and they're seeing their script. We're flying through pages, and it's just like, this is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Like, it means something, and it's like, not everybody gets hundreds
especially
of thousands.
When you're ahead of schedule. Even when you're behind schedule, you get like a rush. Like, whether you're ahead or behind, you always get a rush.
I mean, from the PA to actors, directors, like, if there's a weak link in the chain, it fucks up everything. But when everyone's on point and it's like, this is what we're here to do, it really means something when we all thrive to pull together and to make it happen. And like that movie, man, I like, we all worked so fucking hard on it. And I think when it gets out there and when people see it and they hear the history of it, I think they're going to be really fucking impressed, because not like, for me, they were saying, I think they even said their agent read the script and he was like, good luck finding someone to do this. And they're like, well, we did already. And he's this guy and he's going to fucking kill it. And we did, man. And like, I appreciate that they gave me the chance to do it. Like, cause when you watch something,
you really did.
You put so much in, and like, I flinch at times of like some of the scenes, because it meant it did a lot, like to go to a place, and then even when you're like done for the day, you're sleeping still in the same place, you go somewhere, and I definitely felt like I hit a point where I reached a level or a thing that I didn't experience before. So to have done all that and come back now, and like, I really look forward to when they let me know it's going to get distribution, because I think people are going to go ape shit over it.
And hopefully your next project with them one day soon.
Yeah. Give me a call. I'm here.
Well, actually, they're trying to get me some editing work for them.
Oh, awesome.
In the coming future, because they know I'm an editor. And actually, they were at the screening of a film of mine back in November. Not a film of mine, sorry. A film I edited for my director, Cindy Sanabria. So shout out to Cindy. I edited for my director. She shot it it's like a series of interviews of a documentary about filmmakers and actors with disabilities in the film industry. She did it during COVID, and I edited it. And we got accepted to a film festival where the Oscars were. And that's where Jen Sylvia and I reconnected for the first time in 6 years.
Oh, that's awesome.
And we're birthday twinplets. Their birthday's 3 days before mine next week. So we always like, and I also want to mention, you're not the first adult film star to transition as well to horror or film or mainstream.
Yeah.
My friend Sadie Katz did softcore before. Now she's working with a lot of people, including like, I know she's in that Brandon Slagle, James Cullen group. My friend Angelina Armani, who I took out a couple times last year, I just saw a few months ago. She's a former adult film star who. She worked with Brian Austin Green, Megan Fox's husband at the time. And Danielle Harris. And she did a movie when she was engaged to my friend Robert Hall with Robert Englund himself and Corey Taylor. And I got her a job in an upcoming horror film. So I love to see, and I'm trying to get her back into there. So I love that people can transition and still be themselves. And
Ginger Lynn.
What?
Ginger Lynn.
Ginger Lynn, yes.
She's
oh my god,
awesome, dude.
Yeah, she worked with some friends of mine too. Oh, thank you, Surrenda. And hold on a second.
Happy birthday.
Oh yeah, thank you. And also, it's interesting because she really wants to see On the Edge. I'm sure it'll happen soon. And you definitely. you know what? While we're on the topic, let me bring up the trailer for On the Edge.
Oh, awesome! Thank you.
I'm bringing up the trailer. Everybody, hold on to your butts.
Please untie me. This hurts, okay?
He was wounded for our transgressions. He was bruised for our iniquities. But you're not innocent, are you, Peter?
Please, God, I'm sorry.
Look at you.
I think it's enough now, right?
Fucking perfect. Continue.
So yeah. I had to. Can I tell you something? That does not do it justice at all.
I'm saying, right?
Yeah. Hold on, you froze. Okay, there you go. You froze for a moment.
Oh, yeah.
That trailer does not do justice at all. At all.
a very good friend of mine, he was visiting and I got to show it to him, and he said it fucked him up for a few days.
Really?
He's like, I know you, I love you, we've been friends forever, but he's like, his words, he's like, it was so convincing how what you your performance and what you were going through. He's like, I felt bad for you. And, for acting wise, I was like, wow, okay. I was like, tell me more. He's like, the religion aspect, with Ishtar and like all these things. And he's like, it made me think a lot about religion and,
and then there's the abuse aspect and the family aspect.
Yeah. And it made me like the family aspect of it. I'm a parent. My kids mean everything to me, and there was a lot of like serious tones and things about it. And there's things about it that he thought one way and he's like, oh man. And then when he realized the bigger picture of like everything going on, he was like, oh shit. He was like blown away. So as far as like, a few people seeing it and like their feedback just being like, that was shocking. Like, I didn't expect that. I didn't know you could do that and everything. So I feel justified in like what I put myself through and my performance and everything for it. So to hear feedback like that, it means a lot because I did something good.
What really stood out? It definitely gave Devil's Advocate vibes.
Yeah.
In terms of what was reality and what isn't.
Yeah.
And what was a hallucination in his head and what wasn't. And I still don't know. So that's what's great about. And I said to Jen, like, what really happened? That's the thing. It's left, or like she doesn't want to say, or I don't remember exactly what she said, but it's supposed to be mysterious that way.
You could determine it either or. You like it,
yeah.
And I think those are great.
That's interpretation.
Yeah, I think movies like that leave you guessing instead of kind of like just sum it up and everything, like makes you think a little bit. And because there's a lot of tones in it where it gets very dark, and until like, and
the term on the edge literally means you're on the edge of reality, like as well as on the edge of, it could be on the edge of something else. It's a double, triple, quadruple entendre, possibly,
It was, the title fits the movie.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely. I was
going to say, JW, one of my co-hosts, says, is there some symbolism between modern religion being kind of abusive? Seems like it's a major part of the film.
Yes. I would say that's a pretty good, to get that from the trailer. Like, you nailed it.
Yeah.
Nail on the head for sure.
And Sorenda says, on the edge of your seats. That could be too.
There you go.
There are definitely scenes that will have you on the edge of your seat. Yes.
It was interesting because I think if you don't know my history or where I'm, anything, you're going to be like, wow, that guy. Okay. But I think what made it really important to do this character and a performance like that, I think to show vulnerability where usually like I'm playing like a dom or something, or the interpretation of what people are in the adult industry and being this like dominant male and blah blah blah, but like it's it's not about that. I think it's important to people see someone like me in a perspective of like being weak, being vulnerable, and things like that. So it meant a lot to portray a character like that, because I'm just a man and we're just human. Like, you know, this stigma of like whatever you have about that whole industry, and like everyone's this like, you know, aggressive alpha pig or whatever. It's just like, it's not like that. Like, it's so much the opposite. It really, like, the perspective that you have is just pretty much kind of wrong. Any job, anywhere, you're gonna have your asshole, you're gonna have your guy who knows thing or whatever. But like, you know, I think people have a certain perspective before they meet or talk to or anything about people who work in that industry, and then when they finally do have a conversation, it's always like, "Whoa, I just thought you would be an asshole or like try to fuck my girlfriend or whatever," and it's just like, Jesus Christ, I'm just fucking, I'm just trying to get by.
Like I went to one the Exotica events last 2 years ago, and the guys who could be so like dominant and douchebaggy in the film, and they're the nicest, chillest, coolest guys in the world. Even my friend Angelina, who I went out with, like Lisa, she said Scott Nails, one of the nicest guys.
He is.
And he always plays the douchebag. Always.
Yeah.
Always.
You know,
it's like horror. It's like the horror industry, because the killers, Freddy Krueger, Jason, Michael Myers, Leatherface, gentle giants and sweethearts. It's the same way with the adult film industry. Like, it's always the ones who appear one way are the exact opposite in real life.
Look,
almost.
If you're seeing me or Scott or anyone else, Seth Gamble, or people portray this like jerk, it's like, that's a script we're playing. We're just doing a character, you know, and
it's acting. People forget that. Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. We have our assholes. Like, there's assholes a lot in our industry, like every industry, any job, you know, we got a few of them for sure. But I think what I've seen over the years is, you know, people having the courage to speak up. And I think that's something that's really important, that separates adult from like mainstream.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
I think from what I hear, a lot of mainstream people who like, I don't deserve the fucking job, but whatever the fuck, they get the work, you know, but they get to stay this prick, you know, and they think it's ride that for as long as they can, you know, and then it's like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know. You did know, you know, you're making a decision to be an asshole. So I think in the adult industry, like, where a lot of people thought they had weight to like be the certain person, I say it's changed. And a lot, you know, I think people are way more okay in speaking out, you know, and I think that's important, because
I've heard horror stories, but those horror stories were like 15, 20 years old.
Things were different, you know,
different now,
look, I think I think our industry,
it's a big step.
Yeah. Why, you know, we're putting so much out there already, you know, like, we don't need someone else to come in and like fuck everything up because whatever, they have issues or whatever, you know. So I applaud like the people who do that, because I think they should, because that whole thing runs on trust.
100%. 100%.
And you know, shit happens and whatever, but it's like, I think we've grown a lot, and people said like enough, you know. And I think that's important. And a lot, from what I hear, a lot of mainstream stuff, like, people are scared to speak up. People don't speak up when they should, you know. We're here. Everyone's just here to have a good time and work. We're playing fantasy. We're putting a fucking movie together. We're going to be goofballs and play pretend. Why you got to be a dick?
I just want to bring up, Chloe says, that's what draws me to performers and content creators in the industry. Everyone is so much more than the characters they play in the scenes.
Yeah, I you know, applaud to like Instagram and TikTok, and like, you get to see a different side, you know. It doesn't have to all be like I'm selling my ass and boobs and whatever. Like, I like humor. There's so many there's so many people in the industry that are just creative and artists and everything, and it's like, it really, like, without these platforms, people would just keep assuming the negative or whatever they want, or you don't do anything else, or you're not worth it. And it's like, well, here are their lives. Like they're showing they sponsor, they support, they give their time to help people. Sean Alf raised money to do I believe just recently, the Boston Marathon with his mom. Come on, man. How are you going to look at somebody in this industry who does that?
Yeah.
And judge?
Listen, I followed stories on Instagram where like somebody like Tia Cyrus was just shopping with her mom, and like people think, oh, they don't live normal life. Like, grow up, people. Oh, Sean Alf is my hero, he says. And I just want to say, my friend Lauren posts this. He always calls Gabe Manis. I still don't know why. Don't ask me, but I just had to bring that up. He's one of my I worked on a film with him. But I just got to bring up, you have a huge array of characters that you've played.
I lucked out. Yeah.
And from the makeup to the, like, I know, like you could see here in the screen, like you've done the Joker.
Yeah.
In here, let me bring this up. This is the Suicide Squad Axel Braun parody, which looks like very high budget.
It was a big budget. It was cool to play. I thought this is like the worst Joker to play. That's my opinion. I wasn't a fan, but what I got out of it is that awesome fucking picture right there.
Yes,
that was the best thing, because the director
profile picture worthy.
Yeah, asshole. He wanted me to wear, the mouthpiece, and if it was hard to do the voice with it, so it's
however
great.
You feel about that Joker, cosplaying that takes skill, or like dressing up as that's like a whole art form in itself, that appearance.
Yeah, dude, like we do so much on such a low budget. Like when people hear the budgets we have and the days we got it done, they're like, how? What? Yeah. No. Like we do fucking magic. Yeah. And again, like you gotta be on point. You gotta have your script. You gotta have the right crew. You gotta have the right set decorators, all these things. Like we do so much work in such a short amount of time. It drives me crazy that we're not more appreciated. We're not more acknowledged. Yes. Like, you're like, I got $100,000 budget for like a 15-minute short. It's like, fuck you.
Brenda makes a good point. You won one award, but Leto didn't. That's a good point.
Yeah, fuck him.
My guys.
No. I as far as Joker wise, like it was.
JW says the absolute worst Joker to play, but so bad. But congrats.
Yeah, no, exactly. Thanks, I'm like, I'll take it. But again, I got that. I got like that picture and another one. I'm like, all right, I'm set. It was it was worth it for that.
You have a lot of iconic shots. Like, let me just say, like, this is the funniest thing I've seen you dress as the Austin Powers parody.
But
like, again, you have range. You have range.
Because I also played Dr. Evil in that.
Real? Yeah. Oh my God, I never seen it, so I don't. That one I never saw. It's funny because I'll tell you, who Evan Stone is, of course.
Of course.
So I met him a year and a half ago at Exotica, and one of the films and I told him this, and he was cracking up. I can't take it seriously. I'm sitting there and I'm watching it like a comedy because he's so funny. It's like, just you can't enjoy it other than a comedy, like, because it's one of the most. It was like the first high budget adult film, like $1 million budget. Pirates. And I know they had it at the R-rated version at a Hollywood Video in my area. They didn't know it was an adult film, so they put
I worked in Blockbuster Video in Astoria.
Where this is going. Okay.
In Astoria for
not far from me.
And Broadway. Yeah. By Kaufman Studios. And our fucking, I don't care. This manager, what was his name? He was a prick.
Yeah.
And he got in trouble because he kept getting like his Blockbuster, but he kept getting all these like rated R
soft.
Yeah, Pirates was one of them. Emmanuel in Space or some shit, and he got written up for it. So fuck that guy. But it was funny working in Blockbuster and that movie coming out. And
my friend's the son of a rabbi, and he rented it thinking it was a spinoff of Pirates of the Caribbean. Like, if that his father didn't walk in on that. But I just want to mention, you said are you from Queens, or are you?
I am. I'm from Astoria, Queens.
Small world.
I grew up off of Ditmars and Steinway and 41 and 23rd Avenue by PS 84.
Wow, small world. You definitely gotta hit me up next time you're in New York. Definitely.
Yeah. Like, I don't know for any of the cats who grew up in Astoria. There was a famous club there called Papa Gallows, where all the Greeks went.
I gotta take Louis Mandylor there next time he's in New York.
It's not there anymore. I'm sorry.
Oh.
But I was there in July. I believe you also knew Doug Sackman.
Yes, oh yes, God, may he rest.
I was there for his funeral, and
I thought a lot of friends knew him.
Yeah. I thought let me go visit my old neighborhood, and it was interesting because being there, everything was so big, and then coming back now, it was so small, and and it was great to see the old place, but I was like, I'm glad I moved on. Like, I love California. And
yeah, me too.
Yeah.
You guys worked on Shakespeare Shitstorm together, right?
So
was he in that?
Doug might have been in it, but he was more behind the scenes and doing the special effects and everything. So the history of me and Doug, I was in a sketch comedy troupe called She's Theater.
Okay.
And we met in high school, and we were doing these like joke tapes and putting them on public access and everything. And I like trauma movies, and
who doesn't?
I just recently saw like Toxic Avenger, and I was like, oh my God, like boobs and gore. Yes, finally. Something
really?
I wasn't aware of. And I was
it turns out my friend Lauren, who I worked on a film with, he was in the crew of I worked on the sequel to the film that he worked on with Doug. It's a Small World.
Yeah. And I was like, let's send our tape to Trauma, and we did. And Lloyd was like, what is this? And Doug's like, I don't know, I'll watch it. And he was like, these guys are hilarious. And he
Lloyd.
gave us a call, and we ended up working together, and for Trauma Edge TV, and then we knew each other for all those years, almost 30 years. Like, he was one of the best people I ever got to know.
It's sad when young people who are very gifted, young people in general, but like I heard only amazing things about that man.
He mentored Lloyd, and
really
the thing that I appreciated about Doug and what I loved about him, like whatever he learned, he shared that knowledge. There was so many people he helped along the way, and for their movies and projects and everything. And it's like, he could have been an asshole. He could have been all these other things. But to me, he was one of the kindest, most friendliest people I ever got to know. And it's working in, hard, like he did Punk Rock Holocaust through the Warped Tour and everything. And like, he always had a knack of just making friends with everybody, and he grinded, he busted his ass. He did a lot. And he was like, finally, I think at a good point working on the Unsolved Mysteries revamp, doing the special effects. And like, I was like, man, he finally got to the level he deserved to be at, and it was sad when he passed. And I didn't realize how important he was until he was gone.
Rest in peace, Doug. Yeah, I never knew him, but if I'm sure I would have loved him if I did.
Yeah. He introduced me to Joanna. So like he's been a
really Joanna Angel.
Yeah.
Wow.
So Burning Angel was basically competing with Suicide Girls. But they
did
photos.
Oh, really? I have friends who were Suicide Girls. Yeah.
So they did photos. Yeah. Burning Angel did softcore movies.
Yeah.
And they're like, to change, like, how are we going to separate ourselves? And like, so we're going to start doing adult movies.
Yeah.
So Joanna was doing parties with promoting Burning Angel, and then Doug got to meet her, and they were promoting a vodka filter, Grey Kangaroo vodka filter.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, look, if we combine your girls, our liquor, we do parties, we could promote each other, you know, and that started a whole relationship there. So I was always curious if I could do adult. I was one of those guys, and Doug introduced me to Joanna, you know.
Were you the first Burning Angel male star?
I wasn't the first.
You weren't the first. Okay.
I was her first scene. Her first scene.
Okay.
My first scene. And, you know, he introduced us, and, you know, if that didn't happen, I probably wouldn't be here. I wouldn't have, my life would have went very different.
Well, while we're on the topic of Joanna Angel, I want to bring up, Burning Angel.
Yeah.
I got to bring up people who don't even know who you are, like out there, have seen, or even Bruce Campbell himself has referenced this.
Yeah.
Which is great. But it's like just the name. I know. So one of the older heads of this network before we changed it and before I came on was George C. Romero, George Romero's son. He used to be involved.
Oh, shit.
So, and I sent him a poster of the movie Night of the Giving Head before Evil Head. The poster, the name is so funny. Joanna Angel came up with Joanna came up with that name?
My original name, I was just like, what would sound funny every time you said it? And I was like, AMAC. It was a New York thing. I don't know. It made me laugh, made my friends laugh. So the first printing of the the Burning Angel movie, I was credited AMAC.
Mm-hmm.
And then the second one, she's like, can you please change your name? And I was like, all right, like, do I still get the job? She's like, yeah. So we went through different names, and, you know, and when she said there's a Tommy gun, but like, you know, you're kind of a pistol. And I was like,
interesting.
All right, well, I'm not.
He also seems like he's a really cool guy.
Tommy's a great guy.
Yeah.
He's a great guy. You know, she said Tommy Pistol, and, you know, honestly, I think it was the perfect name because it fit my personality and everything. And like Tommy Gunn is Tommy Gunn. When you see Tommy Gunn, you're like, oh, that makes sense, right? When you see me, you're like Tommy Pistol. Like,
but also worked out because now years later they had JMac, or not long after you got involved, they had JMac. So AMAC and JMac, it would have been too similar. I think Tommy Gunn and Tommy Pistol is different enough that it's not going to confuse people.
Yeah. I think the name definitely. I think the character Tommy Pistol, it goes with it. Like, that persona and everything. It makes sense, you know.
Yeah.
I could play different guys, but like I wouldn't be like, he's a macho guy.
Right. Well, I just want to mention, while you're on the topic of talking about playing different guys, I just want to bring up a few different like looks you've had. I mean, this is wild. This looks like Matthew McConaughey meets Robert Duvall, but like as Opie from Sons of Anarchy. Like, I'm just mixing up those random characters that gives me vibes.
That was Grinders. That was Grinders, Ricky Greenwood. You know, that was a great character to play. A biker dad who just cannot show love and did not give a shit about his kids. So that was a great part.
Exactly. It's a story. It's like people forget that there's storytelling to these films.
I think Ricky, like when we did the Krampus, that he said doing that, he produced that one. That was me and Ashley Lane as the Krampus and everything. He produced that, and people didn't want it. But when we finished it and they saw it, then they bought it. And he said that movie kind of changed his whole career.
Yeah,
because it showed that he had levels of what he could do. And his cameraman, Matt Holder, you know, all these people that work with him, they're literally one of the best crews like in our industry, and they're tight. And I think that's what you need. Like, no matter what, you need the right people backing you who believe in you and everything, and it shows,
Yeah. And also, well, I'm going to bring up a few things also, because people are mentioning about dorsal strip, which I'll bring up.
Yeah.
I want to show, like, you've got, like, even your acting, like, style, like your appearance, and then here you are, like, looks like an army general, and then I love this look, taxi driver. You actually look like a young, like you could do like a younger version of Robert De Niro. Like, it looks really good, but nothing cracks people up more than this poster, Hamilton, and the name. Can I ask you a question? Is it a musical too? That's hilarious.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Everybody who worked on that, like, there was points where they had to rap or sing, and like they fucking killed it.
Yeah.
It was like it had a write up in the Huffington Post.
Huffington. That's really
Leroy Myers.
I mean, Shakespeare Sh had a write up in New York Times, so you never know.
Yeah, it was a trip to do that, man.
Yeah.
Like, June's gonna be 20 years that I've been doing this and everything.
June?
And like, yeah.
Wow.
And to be honest, like, I realized, like, early, and I already liked acting, and I already liked being comedy, and I had the background of doing the sketch comedy. So when I came into this, I had an idea of like being in front of the camera and everything, but like, I lucked out, because I think I'm grateful always that people saw a talent that and I tried. I always gave my best. I always would do the best I can always. And I think that I appreciate that people saw me doing that, so they gave me a chance after chance, and they saw what I could prove, and I'm like very grateful for the career I had, because I got to play all these parodies of all these like iconic characters.
Those are probably the most fun ones to do.
I'm saying, like, it's so silly because these are the fun ones, but it's like they fall behind, or people forget, like the cook, that was like a thing we did for Brazzers, and I was playing Steven Seagal, and it was that one little bit where I just come in and snap a neck and then snap another neck, and they're like, "Who is that?" And it's like, "I'm the cook," and it went
delivery.
viral.
It's all about the delivery. I love that.
Yeah, it went viral, and it was the silliest thing.
We got to make a GIF of that. We have to make a GIF of that and like get it out there.
We're trying to convince. Me and Ricky are trying to convince people to do and Nathan Bronson, who would do the stunt work for it. We're trying to convince people to do a big feature. So I hope we can make that happen. Tata's on the stage. Yeah.
I tell all my friends you played Hamilton in the Hamilton poor parody. As a theater actor, I'm thrilled that you did not and not Jersey Boys.
I wasn't not the Jersey Boy. That's awesome too. Like, I don't know, like, I don't know, if I would have tried with mainstream in the beginning, if how far that would have gone and whatever. And it was just like, this industry was so welcoming, and it was awesome, because they, if you have talent and like people see it, like it makes everyone else excited to do something more. They have like, and I think there's a lot of performers now that are more on this page of like really showing what they could do, and not just this gonzo bullshit. Like, everyone loves that, but it's like, I think it's great because our industry is taking it more serious, and like a lot of the scenes and what they're doing, like there's depth to it, there's and everything. And I think more than ever, you're seeing it now.
Well, I do want to mention that the last 10 years, there's been a lot of subgenres in the adult industry that are very either artsy or dramatic or thriller-esque. Yeah. I want to bring in a trailer for. Can I bring it? I'm going to bring up the trailer for the Pure Taboo, but sure. Obviously it got from YouTube. And this is like this. Obviously, like sometimes the setup for the adult film is very relevant to, believe it or not, the film itself. And it's the way it's shot is like high-end cinematography, and like you have a lot of these
lenses, same cameras, some
like it's all, but different filters. But yeah, yeah. Here, I'll bring it.
Well, listen, dear. Amy, is it? I'm very sorry to have to decline your application. You see, your credit check was denied by the association, and I just can't rent to someone in your financial situation.
Fuck! Hi, are you Philip?
I am. Can I help you?
Yeah, I saw your ad in the paper that you have a room to rent, and I was interested.
This is the living room. You'll have full access to it. I have a lot of cable channels, so you won't be bored.
When were you looking to have me move in?
I guess you can move in today if you wanted.
Really? I have my things in the car. I could go grab them.
I guess we have a deal.
I could see you cracking up in the background because like it's like Vacancy almost, in a sense.
Yeah.
And yes, it's true. The adult film trailers are top tier because they're just they really are.
Like when Pure Taboo, when that studio started, Gamma, Adult Time, it was definitely a breath of fresh air because they were hitting really serious dark subjects like that where not a lot of people were taking a chance. Like they might do like, one every now and then, but like that studio like threw down and was like, this is what we're doing, like this. And for somebody who's been doing it for so long and for so many of us, it was like, whoa, you're like really challenging us to like go someplace, and like Bree Mills and Craven Moorhead, like
Bree Mills is very gifted filmmaker.
Yeah, amazing filmmaker.
She's great. Shout out to Bree Mills. I follow her stuff, and she everybody loves her too. Yeah.
She came in and instead of like she directed us, but she gave us kind of a chance to shine. Like, where do you want to take this? Where do you see this going? Where usually it's like stay in the line and don't go out of it and like we'll get out of here fast. But like those movies, that like beginning years of those Pure Taboo scenes, like they really, a lot of this stuff is improv. Like we get a gist, we get an idea, we know we want to go from A, B to C, bring us there.
Just like any other film where a lot of stuff is improv.
But I mean, for these, like we would like put it together as we're doing it. So if somebody had an idea and it was creative, they were really open to hearing a lot of it. So a lot of those,
love that. It's a
lot of those really want, because she could have an idea, but it's like, she's not a performer, and we're like a lot of the people she was hiring were kind of veterans and people who've been doing this for a while. So it really gave a lot of us the chance to shine and like really take it someplace, and for me, I think that was a pivotal moment because a lot of those scenes that I got to do, like Annie and a lot of those beginning ones, I really got to go to different places and present something that I wasn't able to do before. And it was great because it was hitting a point of like, well, what else am I doing? Like, I'm just playing like the silly guy or something, and I know I could do more. And it was those movies that let me like kind of really expand my talents and like make me better in so many ways. And I appreciate it, and I will always love that they gave me those chances to do that.
And yeah, and I also want to bring up like you're not just like you're passionate, everybody who's involved is passionate about it. And the creativity is like what's the word? It's like a solar system of creativity. Not a solar system. It's like, but you bounce off each other, ideas. And I'm sure you could have like the PA may have an idea and you guys will consider it. I love that.
It's time's money. We do what we got to do, but a lot of times, like some you get room to experiment, and that's not all the time and everything. And of course, like they got like a 60-page script we can't be like figuring out, but like there's a lot of freedom in it, because we're doing a certain performance, and you really, they give you the chance to kind of like make it your own. And a lot of people either kind of like brush it off of, you tell me what to do and I'll do it, blah blah blah. Or a lot of people like really take it serious, and it's like, yeah, I could do this, but I could also do this, and for me, I saw the advantage of like, knowing my dialogue, coming there with suggestions, it meant it people appreciated that. So I think that's what always helped me, is like offering a little bit more, and then also knowing when to pull back, because it's not my production. I'm just here to work, but people are really appreciated when you would bring something to the table. And
actually,
I learned a lot from that. From, like, having those time to do that and everything, and like it really helped me craft something like where I am now. And it was like, if I didn't have that before, I don't know, like it was kind of, and a lot of it is so like, it's just raw. It's just like, here, we're going to do this right now. And it's like, we barely ever get rehearsals, it's not like we're feeling it out. It's kind of like, okay, like this is what I'm going to do. And then we do it, and it's like, dial it back or something. Or that was perfect. Like, you don't get a lot of freedom like that, but doing these types of movies, like, it's there. And I think that's, for creative side, like a lot of people are starting to see the advantage of doing that, and get to learn more about themselves or what they're capable of and everything. So we might not be in, doing indie movies and stuff, but it's like, we're kind of doing a short film every time. So
it's true. It's like, even a scene, in a sense, is a story. It's like, a story is a short film. Like, you tell a story, it's automatically a short film.
Yeah. And is everything always perfect, or the dialogue landed, or it was great, or whatever? No, whatever. Like, sometimes you get to craft it better, and sometimes it's like, let's just go, because not everything's going to be a masterpiece, but you do get a chance to hone in something and like learn a trade. And like, I've been in a couple thousand, like, that's all screen time, that's all dialogue memorization, that's all learning where the camera is, that's just experience.
And listen, there's a lot of stuff you've done even up for your mainstream stuff from adult films that should be on your professional reel. Like, I mean, I'm saying, like, there are certain like performances, like, I'm sure of the Joker, even though it's the Jared Leto Joker, I'm sure your performance, and I've seen some clips, like, you could take clips that are not, like, obviously acting, not like the performance, but like the acting, and use it in your reel, because that alone is just, And I just want to bring up, my friend JW has a question: do you do long form improv or any Second City training? And JW does say, because I know Surrenda asked, Second City training improv is Chicago-based, still close. Improv specific brand training. Long form is more in line with Upright Citizens Brigade.
I did in New York. I did UCB. I took some classes there and everything. But honestly, the Cheese Theater, like the guys I met in high school, two of them, Conrad Stojak and Eric Turzo, they were doing stuff by themselves. Me and Joe Maplebeck, we were doing stuff when we knew each other, but we didn't realize we all were doing comedy. And then once we started working together, like, we did that for like 12 years. We'd get together, we'd come up with ideas, we shoot them, and it was all improv. Like, it was just trial by error, just doing it, just getting in front of a camera, just writing a script, just figuring it out. Like, none of us, like, our school, LaGuardia High School, was like for dropouts, and the best part was like, Mario Chiotti, I think that's his last name.
Yeah.
I was the film teacher, you know. He would let us hang out after school and make videos with the cameras and edit it ourselves. Like he was letting us just like learn. And like me and my friend Joe, like people wanted to hang out afterwards and like do skits with us because we were all hungry to do something. Like that school, like you go to that school because you're about to drop out and they're like, just try this one. Just give it a chance.
It's funny you say that because, and I want to get to dorsal strip before it gets too late, but I also wanted to bring up like part of my I went to a not special needs high school because of my Tourette syndrome, but a private high school, and they eased you into college. So they would take us to get I graduated high school with college credits, and where did I go? LaGuardia Community College
across the street.
How small of a world is that?
Yeah, you get off the 7 train.
Yeah. Well, I took a bus. Like they got us buses.
You took the bus. All right. And then right across the street was a correctional facility. Yes. And then there was that diner right next to the high school. So whenever people were let out from the correctional facility, they ended up hanging out by us getting cigarettes.
And not only that, first of all, I was one of the few white kids in my class, first of all.
Okay.
But like it was just fun. But like all the kids were so cool. And it was very ghetto, but it was like a fun place to be. I love the teachers, and not only that, my English principal for my yeshiva, my Hebrew school, was teaching in the classroom next door to me.
Look at that!
It's like how much smaller of a world does it get? Yes, I have Tourette's. Fist bump. Because Tourette's and autism often comes with comes hand in hand. I don't have autism, but I have some elements of it. Creativity is a muscle. Got to practice with it in order to expand. Yeah, 100%. Storytelling does change lives. Cinema changes lives. Cinema is also a form of education. People forget that. I've learned a lot of life lessons through cinema. Take a field trip to the correctional facility. I hope that's a joke.
It was weird to be there and like that right across the street from your high school. Like that was always like, this is a little awkward. But like I when I went to that school, I was living in Queensbridge.
Yeah.
And like I don't know if you remember Queensboro Plaza back then. It's different now, but that was like Hooker Central. That was disgusting. It was like shady as fuck. So but the beauty about that school and all those, but a lot of those kids that were there, they didn't fit in the peg. They didn't want to follow the rules, but so many of them were talented. Yes. Musicians, artists, filmmakers. It was like a place that didn't judge you. They just let you thrive.
They gave you the opportunity to show what you can do.
You just had to go. And even if you didn't make every class or whatever, you still pass. Like people need that, you know?
Yeah.
And if I didn't go to that school and I wanted to go to Bryant High School because my friends went there that I grew up with in Astoria.
True.
And I wanted to be on the football team and blah, blah, blah. If I would have went there, I probably wouldn't have I wouldn't have done the sketch comedy. I wouldn't have got into stunts. I wouldn't have got into acting and all these things. And my life would be completely different, you know? So like
100%.
You make it might not seem the best situation, but it's like what you make of it, you know?
Yeah.
You know, and I was just lucky to like meet a bunch of wackos that we all had the same sense of humor and we just fed off each other and it just grew and grew and grew, man.
I think it's one of the reasons you and I really connected on social media because we both have a very similar sense of humor. We have similar political stances. We have an appreciation for cinema and horror, and we have a lot of the same friends. And I'm glad to know you, man. You're a good guy. And I actually have a question from JW. Oh, sorry. What's your favorite movie of all time, brother?
My favorite movie of all time is definitely Return of the Living Dead. And
one of the greatest zombie movies of all time.
So when I grew up in Astoria and we'd go to the movie theater on Steinway. And it was interesting. As an adult now, I know why. But when I'd go with my mom, you know, we see that we pay for the first movie, but we're leaving at the end. We're seeing all the movies, and we get a gyro, we sneak it in.
I love gyro.
And
I love gyro.
But that was like my childhood. Like, I on the same day I think I saw like Ghostbusters, Highlander, Pee-wee's Big Adventure. We're seeing all these things, and like Return of the Living Dead was one of the movies that we saw, and then it scared the shit out of me, and it stuck with me, and I just thought the movie was hilarious. And I like the more I've watched this movie probably 30 times. I think it's the most believable, honest reaction of like how people would fucking be in that situation. It's scary as fuck, but you're gonna say something funny. you're gonna react.
And you don't know how to explain that there's zombies and parts in the back.
You don't know.
See rabid weasels.
Yeah.
There's
just crazy people,
and you're gonna have such a wide array of different characters. You're gonna have the brave ones, you're gonna have the nervous ones, you're gonna have the loud ones, you're gonna have the clever ones, you're gonna have the nervous ones, you're gonna have the idiotic ones, you're gonna have the ones making stupid decisions. That's
what appealed to me as I got older, and the more I watched it, I was like, this is it's the perfect movie because it
truly is. Can I tell you something?
In my opinion, it has everything, all checks marked. It's beautiful, it's perfect, and that's it. Like
it's one of those zombie movies that have like multiple themes in it genres. Sorry, you have comedy, you have romance, you have drama, but like you and the suspense and even the foreshadowing. The split dogs and the like, no way are they gonna go there. The soundtrack, but I also want to mention, like, when I first watched it, I didn't realize it was a comedy. I mean, a horror comedy.
Yeah.
But it's the first zombie movie, not just that I saw, but possibly one of the first zombie movies I've ever seen where the zombies actually spoke and had a not necessarily just were clever, but a strategy long before Army of the Dead.
It was like brains made them feel alive.
But and it also had that original concept of like that you never had explained in the zombie movie before. Why brains? Or not in the regular zombie movies, it wasn't brains.
Wasn't that amazing?
But that was like, that blows your mind. It's such a simple concept. Like because the pain of being dead, it makes the pain go away. Like it hurts to be nobody dead. Thought of that. Yes. Like they're and you realize they're monsters. Well, we look at them as monsters, but they're just trying to ease their own pain.
Imagine that, waking up when you thought and the whole time they're dead, they're in pain.
Yeah.
And then like it has everything. And I think it was an honor when I finally showed my kids it.
Yeah.
Because I was like, this movie, it changed me. And it does. It's just like, if you have a favorite, like I dream I could be in something like that creative in that genre and everything, like, because that's exactly what it would have to be. Like,
I'm really glad JW asked that question, because it's and it's relevant, because it just shows how, like, if there's a tragedy like that, the government doesn't care. They'll blow you to smithereens. That like people would, but at the same time, you realize now people, like, it's every man for himself. You see a lot of people working together in that. I feel that is the one unrealistic element, because a lot of people go every man for themselves in this day and age. Like Walking Dead element. But I just want to say Walking Dead is probably the most realistic in terms of how people would gang up against each other.
FYI, the Walking Dead parody that I wrote and directed for Burning Angel, that made, according to Joanna, this made more money than any movie they ever did.
That's amazing.
It went into it's like 5th or 10th printing. It made all the money. And we shot this in 3 days. And we had like 30, 40 zombies. It was crazy. And that like it's a few, like some of the things we've done and the amount of time we've done, like it drives us, it's mad. Like, how did we do that? The last scene in Evil Head, It was the scene with me, Joanna, Dana,
mm-hmm.
and I forgot the.
Let me bring up the poster. Let me see if
we had to shoot that scene and beat the sun coming up.
Joanna, Veruca James, Dana Dearman.
Yeah, Veruca. Like we had to shoot. I like her. We were shooting that scene, and we had to finish it before the sun came up because we shot it outside. So it was cold. We were doing it in dirt. I had one hand taped duct tape. Like all the obstacles were there, but like we finished it. We did it, and it was like, how the fuck did we pull that off? It's insane. Like, if you want to find a crew that fucking throws down and like no matter what, they're gonna stick through the end. As long as you're writing that fucking check, like adults.
Listen, the first Saw film was low budget, and they went through production hell at times. They had to do the shoot. They hardly had to, like, they forgot to. They didn't have this thing, so they had to shoot inserts after production already ended and stuff like that. And then they got 9 more movies.
Yeah,
and
we don't get we don't get no extra days.
Yeah. One of the most realistic things a horror film ever. Yes, Original Living Dead. And yeah, Racing
100%.
Against the Light. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Racing Against the Light. Bausman, Bausman. Baus. I think you mean Darren Bausman. No, Bausman did Saw 2, 3, 4, and 9. I know Darren. Yeah, he's okay. Yeah, he's a good guy. Just spoke to him this week. But yeah, Return of the Living Dead. I think the most original zombie film since, or even though it's not a zombie film, it's a zombie in the zombie genre, is 28 Days Later. Because
they had the running, they had them thinking, the comedy, the realism, like it really, I think that set a bar for everything else afterwards. That would like
people say, oh, they didn't like the running zombies and 28 Days Later, or actually Dawn of the Dead remake. I'm like, yeah, but you had them in Return of the Living Dead in 1987. Nobody complains about that because it came out in the 80s. Nobody wants to complain about the 80s because they embrace the 80s. Yeah. But like in 28 Days Later, they're not actual zombies. They're infected people. They're not rising from the dead. They're not actually dead. They're just infected living creatures. So that's the mistake that people forget. If somebody dies, they're dead. They're not, the virus isn't going to turn them alive in 28 Days Later. Yeah. So that's not your typical zombie movie. Yeah. But long before Dawn of the Dead, Return of the Living Dead did that. And nobody complained about it. Or also because it was a comedy too. So that's also, I guess, another reason why people didn't complain about it. But that's one of those horror zombie films I could watch over and over. And I love the sequel. Some of the sequels are good. Some of them are really bad. But the second one, I actually like almost top tier with the first, but not quite.
Yeah, it was. So I think because they went more campy.
Yes, they did.
And I was like, how do you do this? Like, how do you up this? And instead of upping it, it was like I felt it kind of
it wasn't at the level, but it definitely was. It had that old guy that was very funny, and I like how it mirrored. It brought back the two guys, and made them play the same role, but it changed it up a little bit
because the older guy, I forgot. Do you know his name?
I don't remember his name. I know. Yeah.
So I grew up watching in Astoria. He used to do ShopRite commercials.
So really?
ShopRite was a supermarket.
You're talking about the one that was in 1 and 2, not the older, not.
Yeah. So I grew up seeing him doing ShopRite commercials. So
in the area.
Well, yeah, it was on like television and everything. So to see him in that movie, and then do that, like, oh my God, like it was the best thing ever. And
I actually met one of your co-stars, I think from the adult industry, who also grew up in Astoria, Natasha Starr. I believe they're from Astoria as well. My friend grew up with them.
Oh, okay.
Small world. But I also want to go back to, because we didn't get to it, and I know we're going very far into we're like close to an hour and a half, but I just don't want to go on forever. But I definitely love talking with you. But like we were talking about the stripper, what was it? Strip.
Yeah.
And let me just let everybody know there's no nudity in this. It's just very erotic, and so it's kosher to say the least, to say the most. But I want to show like Tommy's role in it is just like, I think you're front and center in this as much as the girls are. with your character
100%,
in this trailer, because it's just like so like. But I love you're like the what's the word? You're like the Lon Chaney of male stars in adult film.
That's amazing.
Because you've like, if you look at it, like, I mean, you have all these actors. Oh, they shave their mustache, they grow a mustache. They shave their head. They whatever. Like you have what's his name, Scott Nails, who grows a mustache. You have Tommy Gunn, who sometimes has a mustache, and you have the other guy, like, or sometimes have facial, or sometimes does like. But you, whether you have a beard with you, like you're playing a wide array of characters and roles, and you're delivering it spot on. It's not just about how you look; it's and the delivery. It's both the delivery and like your appearance.
Yeah,
and people will see like you. And I'm gonna let me bring it up. I'm gonna bring up this trailer, and also like when Riley Reid is coming when you see the tattoos, like yeah.
You gotta learn to never trust anything a stripper tells you. That's some good pussy right there. In what?
Tommy said I can't fuck you until you're the best.
Sorry, no.
So sorry. I think I don't know. That wasn't me, but the music was higher, so it's hard to hear some of the words. But
I think that was the edit I did. I had that on TikTok, and the music.
No, not.
I think I leveled it good. But yes, that movie was awesome. Again, like Ricky, like studios trust in directors to give them something original and unique.
Yeah.
And Sean Alf wrote that script, and we made it for Duracell and everything. And I think out of everything I did, that character Tommy was the most fun, the most challenging, that like for the adult industry side, like I loved playing that character. Yeah. So Alex Moon did the special effects. So the hair thing, that was 3 hours.
Really?
Yeah, every day that it took about a month to shoot within like days off and stuff like that. But so that was 3 hours of doing makeup and, the hair thing and all the teeth in, and, the character, the look, and like, Ricky had suggestions, I have suggestions, and we both really landed on the same page and everything. But it was really to like portray that guy, Tommy, that you look at him. So that was like the first time I also like gave a character, like went into backstory, and like, who's this guy? Where did he come from? Why is he like this? Why is he why doesn't he trust anybody? Right?
I love it. You got a sneak peek at the voice.
So it was cool because I never got to do that before. And like, for me, I really wanted this guy to stand out. Like, this is my uncut gems. This is my Adam Sandler's, like, didn't fucking see that coming. Holy shit. What the fuck? That's what this role for me was. And to portray that character and to bring him to life. And once I had the teeth in and the jewelry and the hair, I fucking stayed in it, and everybody like respected it, and they saw it, and they saw the commitment, and it was awesome. Because it's like you see this guy, and he owns a strip club, and he has a certain look and the hair, and he's a piece of shit. Why? He's just trying to get ahead. Why is he a piece of shit? He's just trying to get his. So if he has to fuck someone over to do it, he's gonna do it, because do or die, that's life. He was brought up rough, he was raised rough, and he just wants his piece of the pie. So to portray this character and to have it come out the way it did, like, god damn, I think this is one of the best things I ever did in my life.
There's two things I want to mention. One is, Darren Bousman was once telling a lot of the fans a story, and one of the stories he's told when he did the Ninth Saw Spiral with Sam Jackson.
Yeah,
he walked. I don't know if you saw the Ninth Saw yet. I don't know if you've seen it. So there's Sam Jackson's in a trap in one of the scenes. So he's basically hanging from like a puppet trap, and Darren walks Samuel Jackson up to it. Sam Jackson looks at it, looks at Darren, says and walks back the other way. And then at one point he convinces him to do it, and then Sam Jackson's up in the trap, and Darren comes up and says, why would you do this if you don't want to? He's like, and Sam Jackson, I like doing things I've never done before. Yeah. So when you said that, like, it's like a lot of actors will do something that goes against their comfort zone because it's something they haven't done before. Not necessarily against their comfort zone, but trying something new is a rush. I also want to mention, you know what you remind me of in that role? I don't know if you've ever seen Zombie Strippers with Jenna Jameson and Robert Englund.
A long time ago, yeah.
So this trailer looks more serious than Zombie Strippers because Robert Englund was like an underground owner of an underground strip club because George Bush banned strip clubs because they were quote unquote cramping his style as a joke. But like, this is from the movie, and basically Robert Englund was an OCD. He's like obsessive compulsive, and he's a germaphobe, but he runs a strip club, and he doesn't want he doesn't let any of the strippers touch him because then he like does this Purell, and like, so it's like, that was funny, but you like, this looks more serious than that, which is hilarious, and it's wild.
Yeah. This character, you know, his problem is he doesn't know when to quit. He keeps betting, he keeps losing. If he wins a little, it's like he doesn't know when to stop, you know. And so he's hungry for it. He wants what he wants, and that's it, you know. And he fucks up. But it was great to like, we shot in a real strip club and everything, and like,
just gonna bring up a screenshot of you in that role.
Yeah. So if you see the neck here, like all this makeup, what the challenge in part for this was, I couldn't really move my neck a lot.
Really?
Because if I did and the makeup got fucked up, it cost time.
Yes, time is money.
You know, so the jacket I had on and my shoulders were always,
I saw it's a little bit further up.
Yeah, they're like, I was always kind of like up.
Punched.
Because if I did too much, then if this moved, and then it cost time with fixing it, and it was noticeable on camera and everything. So like the challenging part, and like there was one time they would put the wig on, and the wig was so the ball cap was so tight. It gave me a headache, but I was like, I can't take it off.
Yeah.
I can't say like, because we only have a certain amount of hours to do what we got to do. So it's like pushing through it and everything, but it was one of the coolest, most funnest roles. And I've got to play a priest and a pilot and a lawyer and a doctor and all these other things, but I never got to play somebody like this so thorough.
Yes.
So for me, like the fact that we did what we did with this and how good it looks, like I can't wait for it to come out. Like that's a teaser trailer, but it's just, we really, like, everybody saw the potential of what it could be, and everybody who was a part of it.
And the way it's shot was just
it's beautiful. Like Matt Holder did an amazing job.
The lighting, like not just because it's a strip club, like the way it was shot, like it just like even the nubial stuff, like some of the passion, like you realize there's like a lot of natural light, or they use a lot of lens flares, a lot of like the nubial stuff with the passion exotic, like some of the films they do for nubials with the passion videos, like I forgot what they call it exactly. Like there's different styles, and it's high end, and it looks like it's something out of a like a really, like you're watching a commercial for a product, Maybelline, and then it's exactly.
What's the difference? Like, you know, Sean Rivera is one of the best lighting guys,
cinematographers
in our industry, and like a lot of Ricky stuff, like he's lighting it. So if it has a look and it looks great, like that dude knows what he's doing. He's fucking badass at it, you know.
And Brie Mills stuff just looks so like the lighting, like not just the lighting, but the cinematography on that just always looks so like dramatic and thriller-esque and like Lifetime for adult films. Like, it's almost like the Lifetime style, like almost like
stuff
she shoots is just wow.
I think if like you hit a point, it's like, are we going to keep doing things the same way, or do we up it and we show like, wow, we can actually make like erotic cinema like mean something. And it's like I think we've been doing that for a while now.
Yeah.
And some people are realizing it, but it's like we put a lot into it. There's a lot of work, there's a lot of thought that goes into the ones that you see that stand out, and you're like, holy shit, how'd they do that? And like doing that with a small crew in a few hours. And we pull off fucking magic, man.
And not just that, I want to mention, my friend I went to middle school with, I think maybe the same middle school I went to that prison with I'm not sure, but he also went to college with me. We bumped into each other in college and almost didn't realize it was each other. You know him, Dean Springs. He was an extra in the hospital movie, but like you guys are both like, he's more in the producing, but he was an extra in the, I think, Love Hospital. You guys are connected on social media. I think Dean Springs.
Oh, okay.
He wears glasses, so he's a friend of mine from middle school and college. And you guys were in this. He was an extra in your film, and then I see him at the AVN Awards, and I'm like, that's amazing. And I was supposed to get together with him when I was in LA. It's such a small world. It really is small world. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I think this people like kind of bounce between sides for work, and you're like, what are you gonna do? Like, if one industry is slowed down and somebody and you could pick up work, like you got to do what you got to do, man.
Yeah. But I also want to mention, like, you did this film, and this is far from, I wouldn't say far. I'm saying it's more like it's an artsy form, but it's like you look at the parodies and then you look at the more serious ones. But even the parodies, like, it's like you have to tell a story with the parodies. And the parodies have to have relevance to, like, even I've seen an ET porn which had the funniest shit. The funny, like some of it is sick and some of it is cool and some of it is like, wow, did they really just do that? And like they wouldn't actually
take it more serious than
but like it's fun. Like you can't help but laugh at it. Like I think somebody said there's rules something, like if it exists there's porn for it, something like that. Like there's Avatar, there's The Simpsons, there's Family Guy, there's SpongeBob, everything.
Dude, whatever is gonna make a buck, like it's fun pulling that off. And it's like, who else? No one else is doing it. What the fuck? Why not?
Like, I think Ron Jeremy was in Prawn as opposed to Tron.
I was in the
you were in the Prawn. Yeah. Yeah. But I have to bring up this poster and bring up the trailer because I'm a big fan of her. I love her, Capri Anderson. And you, like, even then, like, you just look like the makeup. It's just like, it's wild. Like
I gave that one my all, man. And you know what was funny? During at the AVN Awards, it was I was up for Best Actor, and Stephen St. Croix for whatever movie he was in. And when he won, people booed because they were like, I should have won. And Peter Warner was like, that never happened before. So then that also made them kind of pay attention to me more and everything, which I appreciated. But it was like,
you win some, you lose some, but that one, that in a way made you a winner because that loss made everybody acknowledge, like, see you for, like, them, the people who didn't see you for who you are.
That's like one of the movies that, you do something and it's like, oh, that kind of started the next level, or people acknowledging, like Mike Bisco wrote that and shot that. And he did the Austin Power and everything.
Yeah.
It was like, he gave me a chance, like, and Evan Stone plays like 3 characters in that. There's so many there's so many people in it that are like old school.
Yeah.
Tom Byron and Ron Jeremy and stuff. But it's like what we did for that.
I have friends who worked on a movie with us, a horror comedy with Ron before the whole situation. Yeah, he was funny.
That dude was a great storyteller, but
sorry,
you need your bed.
yeah, you're lying it.
Yeah, sorry, like but it's like entertainment, like just it sucks because mainstream adult music, you get a bunch of yes people around you.
Yeah.
And they never call you, they never pull you aside and be like, dude, what the fuck you doing? That's like how that shit happens. And it fucking snowballs. And it's like, he should have also known.
Yeah.
But it's like, whatever the fuck is going on, it's like, there's no excuse, but it does. People who who look forward to letting you get away with stupid shit, you're just as fucking guilty.
Yeah.
And that's bad. Like,
yeah, 100%. 100%.
Yeah.
I speak up a lot about a lot of accountability stuff. Listen, I'm guilty of saying and doing stupid things,
We
but
all are.
can I tell you something? If you don't feel guilt, then there's something wrong with you. If you don't have remorse, then there's something wrong with you. At least try to make things right. I say that to everybody, including myself. If I ever screw up with a friend, I try my best to make things right. You know, and some people just and I could forgive somebody. Doesn't mean I have to trust them. I could still forgive them.
You gotta. You can't. I think nobody's.
That's the thing about apologies.
No one's untouchable.
Yes,
and I think people get too comfortable, and they're like, "Oh, it's never gonna end." It's like everything ends. So don't be a dick. Just
100%. And can I tell you something? People forget that. Oh yeah, never mind. Yeah, no, I don't want to go off on this, but I wanted to show the trailer for the epic trailer for the Pee-wee's Playhouse thing.
Are you ready for me, sunshine?
I'm ready for you, Pee-wee.
Ready or not, here I come. Here it is. Here I come! Wow.
Good morning, Pee-wee.
Hello, Francis.
Action!
Hi, Chuck. Here I Dolly!
James Lawrence.
What'd you do to her?
You'll be sorry, Pee-wee. You'll be sorry. You're a pervert.
No, you are, but what am I? I told you she was real.
That is one of the films like Pirates that I would literally fast forward the adult scenes just to watch the comedy.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. Evan Stone is hilarious.
Yeah.
I did forget it's a
It's fucking ridiculous. I gotta admit, some of the shit I've done, it's so stupid. I'm so proud of it. I'm so fucking proud.
Oh my god, that was hilarious. that
Oh my god.
Between you and Evan Stone is that's please tell me that won some awards, that film.
I don't remember if it did, to be honest.
Okay.
I mean, whatever. It won the hearts of fans.
It's very nostalgic. Or I have to make this joke nostalgic. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. So I did with Gil Ozeri, I was on a Funny or Die. Mm-hmm. They were doing a live stream of Entourage-a-thon.
Okay.
They were marathoning it. and like Ben Schwartz showed up, and I was hired as to like play a joke character. Like they asked James Dean to do, and he's like, I don't want to do that. Like, ask this guy. And I was like, I'll do it. That's fucking hilarious. So I ended up doing it, and the goal was like the character, every time he did a sexual thing, I was supposed to like go behind a curtain and do something stupid. So they didn't tell a lot of people there what was happening. So when I would go do that, they were like, what the fuck is happening? So, but because I wasn't a creep or weird, they were like, do you want to hang out and watch the rest of fucking this show with us? And I hung out with them for like 23 hours. Like we watched like almost the majority of that whole series. And it was like interesting because the whole time, like people assumed one thing of me, but once they got to know me, they were just like, you're hilarious. Do you want to hang out? Do you want to stay and do this?
I'm the same
way.
I
was like, man, it was like, it meant a lot to like be around comedians and writers and stuff, and them just like be chill with you, and it like, for me, it was important. It meant a lot to do that and like to meet these guys and laugh with them. And it was a great experience.
That's why I say you got to give people a chance, because people like my friends would tell people about me like, oh, he must be he's into horror and he must be a sick guy. And they meet like, he's the nicest guy. How is he into this stuff? I got like weapons and Freddy Krueger stuff, gloves, and like the saw puppet. And like people are like, how is he such a nice guy? But I also want to, sorry.
Just people are fucking give people a chance, it's just,
I gotta mention, he's right. Your Pee-wee impression is spot on. Paul Rubens would be proud if he was still around. He might have seen it. He might have.
I heard he did see it, and I heard he liked it.
Okay, good.
That's what I heard.
It's a side note because you said Entourage. My one of my last guests I had on is one of my old friends. It's my celebrity crush who was in Entourage. She was one of the girlfriends that none of the guys. That all the guys like.
Are you talking about Sasha?
Possibly, Monica Keena. She's from Freddy vs. Jason. She's like a blonde.
Oh no. Okay, so all right.
She's only in like I think 6 episodes, maybe something like that.
Okay.
She looks. You know what? She looks a little bit like Chloe Foster, or Chloe Foster looks like her. If you saw Freddy vs. Jason, she's the star of Freddy vs. Jason. Like, and can I tell you something? You are entertaining as hell. Like even like from the serious roles to the comedic roles. I think one of the videos I watched with you was I think it was the yoga scenes, and I was cracking up. It was so funny. You as the yoga instructor. That was hilarious.
Yeah, that was for Mike Quasar. That was a ridiculous.
that was like just the dialogue. It's like, why is it so hilarious?
I take, the years of doing this, like, you gotta laugh. You gotta look at yourself. You gotta be like, this is fucking stupid.
But you have such a bright personality, even in a lot of your roles. Like, not just as a person, but like in your roles. You have such a like my friends tell me I have an aura, like an energy. Like when I work on films with my friends, I always crack jokes, like my memes and stuff on Facebook and Instagram. I crack jokes with my friends, like my energy gets them through the shoot. Like, so I feel like you're the same way. Like, and I've seen your videos. You do like on your phone. You do behind the scenes with the girls. You got them laughing, and I love it because you're a form of energy.
This industry is great, but it takes a lot.
Yes,
and I don't think people realize how much it does. And we're just trying to entertain. We're just playing fantasy, and so I think while we're there, it always meant something to me to have a positive attitude. Because if I was something else, I don't think I could do what I was doing, And I think you gotta. we're all on the same page. We're all making an agreement to do this and everything. So you gotta have a positive attitude going into it. And I think that's what helped me throughout the years, knowing I can make people laugh. And even though we're doing like raunchy things, oh my God, but it's like, whatever, like if we're all okay with it and we're having fun and we're doing a job, and it's just like, why can't we have that, you know? So I'd rather know I'm making someone else happy and everything, and like enjoying our time and what we're doing and creating, than being like all too serious and miserable or whatever. Because what the fuck, like you got to go to a headspace, you got to do this, and it's very obvious when you're not there, you know.
I also want to mention this. I'm sure there's a lot of people out there who would kill to be you, but they don't realize like you're like you go through other things too, obviously, like we all do, and like you've taken it, and you're the nicest guy. There are people who do stuff in their own life, and they're complete assholes. Like some people let things get to their head. You didn't let that happen to you, and I love that about you.
I hear these stories, about people and roles and characters, and they get this work and they're just constantly unappreciative, and it's like, I think that says a lot about a person, like if you could look at what you have and see the best of it and appreciate it and give it your all, I think that means something. And the way people respond to you is, that's going to be your answer. If like if you're a good person, you're doing the right thing and you're being fair and honest and stuff, and people react to that, So every part I ever got, any role and everything, I gave it my all. I give it my all, and I appreciated what I had. Like I appreciate the work and the craft and what we need to do to get through it. So that's, and I don't deserve any of it.
We talk about taking things for granted, and you don't take anything for granted.
Yeah, life's too fucking short, man. Like I want to be happy. I want to entertain, and I just happen to fall in this like wacky world that accepted me and let me grow as a character and build this whole like persona up and everything. But it's like, that is just a character in that world. I'm not that guy. I'm not Tommy Pistol off camera. I'm Aramis Sartorio. I'm a family man. I care. I want to be happy and all these things, and I think that's the problem, where people can't separate, who they are or who they really are, what they think they are. And it's like, no, because none of us there's no guaranteed for any of us.
Yeah, true.
So it's like, if you're going to always act like, oh, I deserve to be here. And it's like, people are letting you be here.
Yeah.
I'm not deserved anything. I got to work for it.
Yeah. So when people rip into like a lot of like even celebrities, like, how many of them like worked so hard, worked their ass off to be where they are? Like, I know a lot of celebrities say and do a lot of stupid things, just like anybody does. But you know what? A lot of them work their ass off. Even the young ones, like there's a lot of, they make sacrifices like to do a lot of these things, especially acting. Acting is one of the, in the mainstream is, and acting is one of the hardest in mainstream to get into. But you had a past in the adult films, so you had you had a name for yourself. A lot of people don't like have to work their ass off without any help, without any family supporting them, and people and And I just want to, first of all, I want to say I wish it could never end, because it's a lot of fun, but I know we have to end soon.
All right.
But I do want to, because I know we have a couple more videos I want to get through.
Bring them on.
Because there's a trailer for a movie that's coming out that you're in. What was it called? The Long Run. Yes, I think that's. Oh, let me make sure.
So
talk a little bit about that.
Okay, so The Long Run is written and directed by Melissa Fitzsimmons. She's a filmmaker. This is her second feature. My partner, Nicole McClure, she's her editor, right? So the thing that was the best thing I like about this movie, like, I've never watched a movie go from like start to finish. And I am watching my partner put this together, piece it together, it was the thing I loved about this thing. No matter what version I saw, I loved the movie. it's a low budget movie, but like, again, like this filmmaker got it done. You know, she funded the money, she figured it out, she casted, she directed, she wrote, she did everything, you know, and
Melissa Fitzsimmons.
It means a lot to like see filmmakers still doing that, you know, like not giving up and everything. And like, of course, her goal is to make bigger movies and bigger budgets and stuff, but like being involved in this movie and watching it go through its whole editing process was probably one of the most, like, the best experiences I ever had. Like, I'm proud to be in it, and I could talk about like my part and everything, but seeing something come together and like really being a part of it and seeing all the different stages, it really meant something, because I think it's a beautiful movie and I think it's an honest movie. Nicole Roddenberry and Fred Thomas, they're the leads in it, and they're about two people moving to LA to become actors, you know. And Fred Thomas, he does Shakespeare in London, you know, theater and everything. And Nicole Roddenberry, she's done a bunch of acting and everything. And like seeing them both work together, like I really felt it was a very honest portrayal of what it is to take that leap and go do it, you know, and the people she meets along her way and the honest advice they get from family, from strangers and everything. Like it really, to me, is a beautiful movie. And it's like what I think it should, when it gets released, when, like, I know it will, like, if you're getting into acting and if you've been at this point in your career or life, you're going to relate to this movie, because it is crazy to like move away from your family or friends and like, I'm going to go to this city and I'm going to make something of myself. I'm going to do everything I have to. And it's like, this is just like a touch of the reality of what it is to like mentally do that. It takes such amount of courage, and it's hard, and the industry almost doesn't want you to succeed. It throws everything at you to make it. But like people like Melissa Fitzsimmons, like she goes after it. She does it, you know, and I respect that. And I respect her, and she's a good friend, and she's a great parent. And like the people should admire people like that, you know, who don't give up, who just keep striving to like, they're going to get it, you know? And like, if you could get money handed to you and you get a big budget and stuff like that, and like, you don't have that, like, cool, awesome, you know, but that's not everyone's part, you know, not everybody gets that chance. There's still people who are working two jobs to make the budget
or
to
more.
Make this happens. Like working their ass off just to like fulfill a dream. And she knows that she has something. And this movie, I think she says it, man. And so far, like a lot of the reviews and the Q&A and the showings that premiered at the San Jose Film Festival.
Really? Okay.
You know,
nice.
People liked it. People really related, and it meant a lot to me because people talked about my part, you know?
Yeah.
Even though I'm not in it a lot, like, it was a pivotal moment. And the dialogue she wrote, it was meant for me. She said, I wrote this for you to say. We didn't rehearse how I was going to say it. So when we shot it in a little diner in Palmdale, and we were going to shoot outside. And the waitress was like, if you want to shoot into, you can, but we're not going to shut the diner down.
Right.
So me and Nicole, I had to give this like kind of very heartbreaking, honest monologue, you know, while the diner's open, while people are coming and going and the bell's ringing on the door and people eating and cans clanging and forks hitting the plate. And I had to stay focused, and I had to give this fucking honest dialogue. And she's like, that's not what I wanted until I saw it.
Yeah.
And for me, that meant a lot. It meant everything to know I took words that you gave me and I made something of it that you actually like really impressed you and appreciated. I was honored, you know, and I think it's a beautiful movie, and I can't wait for people to see it.
and I'm going to show everybody the trailer in a moment. I just want to mention, there was a movie called Me, Earl, and the Dying Girl where John Bernthal played a professor, and he had a small role. But his role, because of one line his character said, made his role one of the most significant roles in the movie. Or that line became the most important line, like the theme of the entire movie. His line, and he was like a side character. So let me bring up. Yeah, sorry.
It blew me away in the Q&A. Somebody was like, "Who's the guy who gave the dialogue in the diner?" I was like, "Oh, it was me." And "Oh, what'd you like about it?" And he's like, he was just like, "I thought it was brilliant." He's like, it hit, and I was like, okay. And then like other people were saying that too, and they pointed out, they were like, because it's a pivotal point. The movie's going away. You got a feeling, but then it was that if I didn't deliver it right, if I didn't do it right, if it didn't land right, it would have just been But for me, how I went about it, how I felt it should have been read, that's what I did. And I appreciate that Melissa gave me that space to do that and everything. And it came out the way it did. So even it's the shortest thing I did, but it really meant everything. And I'm really
short can still be powerful.
Damn right it can.
And let me bring up the trailer right now.
Awesome.
Oh my God. I never thought this would happen to me. In order to be taken seriously, you gotta be in LA.
You're not an actress.
I am an actress.
Shit. Saying you are doesn't mean you are.
You need talent. You need practice. You need luck. You can't just expect to make it.
I'm not responsible for your failed dreams.
What about this fucking stranger?
He's not a stranger. It's like a friend of a friend of a friend who hooked us up.
Hello. I got your number off John.
I'm Frederick.
Get in, baby. We're going to Hollywood. Woo.
These are actors, as I've told you, we're all spirits, and they're melted into air, into thin air.
We're gonna be friends forever. Two weirdos living the same dream.
But it's Los Angeles, California.
Which, I hate to say, is a terrible idea.
You're not an actress. You can't even act like a fucking adult.
You really believe all of this? Everything's just gonna work out for you?
Yeah, I believe in myself. No one else ever has.
Hello, Dad. It's Frederick, your son. Yeah, your son.
There's no way you're gonna make it, bro. I see you, I see her. I could say it was her.
We've got thousands of films with thousands of actors cast.
And you're seriously saying you're looking at her, you're looking at me, you're thinking that we can't do it?
Let's just say I'm not holding my breath.
Man, you're out of your fucking mind.
Everyone moves to LA for that dream. Promising you fame and money. Be careful.
Why are you yelling at me?
You're winning, then I'm failing, and I can't fail.
You're my only fucking friend, Nicole.
A friendship isn't going to be enough for me.
I believe the universe has greater plans for me. You too. You were meant to be anything you dream.
I don't want to be invisible.
I just want to be famous.
That hit. That really hit. Wow. And I've watched the trailer once before, but I think I had to watch it again, and I'm glad I did. Wow.
Look, I think
I'm sure there are a lot of people that can relate to that too.
That's the thing with the strikes going on, and and that like it took about a year to edit, and while Nicole was editing it, like that was happening, and like it takes a lot to do this, like to pursue it, to stay with it, to not give up, all these things and all these years. Like people just try just to entertain, make someone happy or laugh or something. And it's like, we're just here to entertain. Some people want to do this forever, give them a chance. Give the ones that really give a shit a chance. Because you're going to get beautiful work like that, like Fred Thomas ended up winning a Best Actor at the Fargo Film Festival, you know? And I think he fucking deserved it. That was he did some shorts, but that was his first feature, you know?
It's so interesting because a lot of people like me, like I find making other people happy makes me happy even when I can't find my own happiness. So like sometimes entertaining people is almost like what some people like that more than money is like successfully impacting other people through their art. So for some people, that's even more important to them than making money. And
it helps hide.
Yeah,
it helps hide.
Internal pain.
I would say pain. Yeah,
yeah.
A lot of things, you know. If it gives you a break to see someone else laugh, like
yeah,
you need that, man. And
that's
people need that. It means a lot to, and it is like a drug. It is like, you know, if you know you're making someone else happy and whatever's going on, you know, you gotta put it aside sometimes. And like,
there was a great quote I read that the most powerful drug you could ever find is another human being. So sometimes that drug is not necessarily the human being, but the impact you have on that human being and see it reciprocate. This reciprocation of joy, of laughter, of happiness, of whatever feeling of empowerment. Like like sometimes impacting other people is the most rewarding thing you could do, you know?
And, you know, like Robin Williams, like I came across this clip.
Yeah.
And he was like, you gotta go crazy. You gotta go full tilt.
Yeah.
And you know what? You do. Because life is fucking short, man. And if I'm gonna like wait for someone to say, I get to go do this now, I don't want that life. I want to be happy. I want to see people laughing, man.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know. It's like whether I'm in these movies or other things, like that's what all this became, you know, like I needed to do these things for certain reasons and financial and whatever, but also like it made me become the person I needed to be.
Yeah.
And that's like that's something you can't take away or diminish and insult me or try to say like blah blah blah.
I hope I want more people to see this and just realize how like they misjudge the adult industry so much. So many people out there.
They misjudge a lot of things.
Oh yes, 100%.
If you're misjudging them, you're misjudging fucking everybody. Like,
and I just want to mention, I would love to have you back on when I have the Suskas on, the four of us together.
Oh, that would be awesome. Yeah.
And so I mean, it's getting late, so I'm not gonna, I know I have a couple more videos, but we could always come back to them when I have you with the Suskas on, if that's all right. Is that all right with you?
I would love if you want to round this out on the little AVN song.
Oh yeah. Let's do that. Yes. As long as you're good with it. So this is a little you tell everybody before I bring it on.
Okay, so before I got to do this, I was the last time they had a male host for the AVN Awards was 2 decades ago.
Wow.
And that was Randy West, I believe. He was doing the song and dance and he was keeping it going. It was way smaller. It was like in an auditorium. Like there's so much history of like this industry just trying to like say thank you and like, you know, give ourselves something we should be proud of. So like the AVN Awards was that, you know? So it was after I won the best actor for Evil Head.
Mm-hmm.
They approached me and they were like, do you want to host? And I was like, whoa, okay. And it would be with Alexis Texas and the whole thing, you know. And
my friend Angelina worked with Alexis. I have a magazine they did, a shoot they did together.
There you go. And it was like I knew we were writing the jokes and everything, and it went so well, you know. It was like I was there for a week. Interviews and rehearsals and all this stuff. And like, before it got to that point, they were like, we want you to do a song, and it was going to be like a country song. And I was like, hold on. And they were like, we don't know anything about you. Like, so basically the song that you hear is basically the text I sent saying, I am pale, I have a gut, I'm great for first time anal, like all these things that people would look as negative. They were like, that's fucking hilarious, and
that's confidence on steroids. I love it.
So the song that you're going to see is basically the text message I sent, but I
love that backstory.
To like that night, people still talk about that show, and they say that was one of the best experiences and was fun.
I love that.
And it was just like, there was so much joy in it, and it wasn't like cheap or anything. Like they changed that show, they shortened it from 3 hours to 2 hours. It was a whole different lighting scheme. Like they really went about it a different way, and it was like a really big honor to like do that. And I've been in bands. I was in a band called Amoria. I never played to like a packed house, and then knowing it was going to premiere on Showtime to like 2-3 million people. So like the fucking pressure to nail that song and that whole performance like meant everything to me. So when you see it, like people see it, they'll see that like it was amazing. It was one of the best experiences ever.
We're gonna close up with a beautiful and really entertaining song from yours truly, his truly, Tommy Pistol, aka Aramis Sartorio.
Well, I'm just a little better than average down there. I usually always have chest and leg hair. I always have a gut, and I'm pale. So how did I become the chosen male? Because I get good wood.
That's what I hear.
And I talk real good.
Well, we'll see about that.
They say I'm good in bed.
I wouldn't know.
And I get good head. It's my favorite part of the job.
Oh.
Another factor.
You better make it good.
I won awards for best actor.
You called that acting?
And I can still do stick with a girl sucking my dick.
Oh, yeah?
That's right, I'm the go-to guy for first-time anal. If you don't have experience,
I do.
I'll do with class. I'll relax your ass. You won't even wince.
Woo, woo.
I'm the go-to guy for double badge and double anal. It may come as a shot.
Me too.
I stay hard. I keep on working, even if your hole is crowded with cocks. Hey!
Oy vey, smear. That's great.
Oh my God, that was ridiculous.
Oh man, that was great. Anyway, so that was great. I love. But at the end, I just like to have my guests like tell everybody where they can follow them, and just tell everybody where they follow you.
You can follow me on Instagram at official_pistol_page. You can follow me on Twitter at Mr. PP Pistol. And you can follow me on TikTok at Tommy Pistol. So yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, dude. And I'm gonna when I'm gonna talk to Jen and Sylvia. When they're available, and I will talk to you, and we will work out a date where I could have all three of you on the show.
Awesome.
And yes, it definitely is. They all are. And have a great night, man. We'll be in touch. And next time you're in New York, hit me up. Okay.
I will, brother.
Yeah. Next time I'm in LA, I'll hit you up for sure, man.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you, man.
An absolute pleasure. That was one of the most fun I've had on the show, by the way. Have a good night, brother. I love you,
too, brother.
All the best.
Bye-bye.